doesn't deserve to be in Smash. This is a term that is thrown around constantly in the Smash Bros. Community. In fact, I'd go as far as saying that it can be seen in just about any internet conversation discussing a new character. We've all heard this phrase at some point in time, most likely on multiple occasions. Heck, I'm sure lots of us have used it as an argument ourselves. And now, in the era of Ultimate DLC, with only 2 fighters remaining, the term has never been more prominent. People are scrambling to prove that their most wanted pick is the most likely of them all, and that all other contenders are undeserving of the spot. There are even those who argue against an already chosen fighter, referring to them as a waste of a slot. Of course, this term is directly correlated to doesn't deserve to be in Smash, so why is this phrase used so often? Well, let's dive into that. One of the main problems with this term is that many just use it as a less hurtful way of saying that they dislike a character, not that the character itself has no reason to be represented in Smash Bros. For example, as someone whose most wanted fighter is a certain Undertale skeleton, I've lost track of the amount of times someone's told me that my pick doesn't deserve to be in Smash, only to respond with, because Undertale is garbage, when asked why. I'm not saying that people aren't allowed to dislike a character, but this phrase becomes problematic when it turns into a substitute for personal biases against a fighter candidate or their series. But this begs the question, what qualifies as being deserving of entering the biggest gaming crossover in history? Well, here lies another issue with this phrase. Smash Bros. Only has one rule: the fighter has to be from a video game. That's it. Logically speaking, any video game character has the right to join. People like to use certain arguments to try and explain why a character shouldn't be added to the roster. Too new, too irrelevant, wouldn't fit their character, anime swordsman, etc. In fact, I've seen these quote-unquote arguments used for almost every single fighter we've gotten in Ultimate. Yet, this won't stop people from using it against any character suggestion that doesn't appeal to them. But let's fast forward to a recent event, because I would say that one of the most recent community battles was one where doesn't deserve to be in Smash was the most prominent, that being Steve versus Banjo-Kazooie. If you aren't aware of this clash, you must have been living under a rock. If you aren't aware of this clash, I'll explain it briefly. Back before E3, the Smash community was absolutely certain that we'd be getting a Microsoft rep in Smash, since Microsoft and Nintendo have become so buddy-buddy lately. Things like crossplay and Cuphead coming to Switch are examples of this blossoming friendship. But the question was, which Microsoft character would be getting into Smash? Some people thought Master Chief, some people thought Cuphead, but the 2 candidates that it really came down to were Steve from Minecraft and Banjo-Kazooie. This was one of the most vicious arguments in Smash history, and I mean this seriously. From mockery to as far as death threats, this wasn't really a situation to find pleasure in. The 2 sides' main arguments were both fairly basic. Steve fans argued that Banjo was incredibly old and irrelevant, thus making him undeserving to be added to the game, while Banjo fans argued that Steve was a blank character with no personality whatsoever. Also, side note, some people said he would be too much like Link. I never really understood that, but moving on. Of course, at the time of this video, we know who prevailed. Banjo and Kazooie are joining the roster this fall, yet surprisingly, this still hasn't ended any arguments. Now of course, when I say fans of a character, I'm not implying that everyone who wanted their fighter in the game is acting this way. Many people, if not the majority, are simply not saying anything on the matter. But to put it simply, Steve fans are upset that Banjo got in, which then brings up the waste of a slot argument I mentioned earlier, while Banjo fans make sure to rub as much salt in the wound as they can, still discussing Steve's loss as frequently as possible. The point of me bringing this up isn't to pick sides or reignite an ongoing feud. It's a perfect example of how no matter what, whether your most wanted character is in the game or not, doesn't deserve to be in Smash will always be a phrase heard often. Excruciatingly often. So what's up with this video anyways? Why am I talking about this in the first place, now of all times? This isn't gonna change anything, so what's the point, right? Well, I think it's important to get my opinion out on the matter. Doesn't deserve to be in Smash stems from a lack of empathy between people in the community. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine I'm a ginormous Kirby fan, excitedly anticipating Bandana Waddle Dee to be added to the Smash Ultimate base roster, only for him not to get in, and to be told by dozens of people that the Hat Goomba didn't deserve it anyways, that he didn't deserve to be in Smash. It would be crushing to me. This very thing has happened to thousands of people with hundreds of characters. The problem is that many people in the Smash community's thought processes go like this. Do I like this character? Do I like their series? Okay, so I have no personal attachment to this character, therefore, in my mind, this character does not belong in Smash. Most people aren't able to look past their own interests. And I'm not trying to say that I'm some sort of saint when it comes to respecting everyone's Smash dreams. I think almost everyone's done this at some point. But just think about how much better it would be for everyone if we could just learn to understand that other people have attachments to characters that we're just not interested in. When I look at Smash Ultimate's roster, I see an incredible culmination of not just Nintendo, but gaming in general. That's what Smash has turned into. And sure, there are some characters that are more recognizable than others, but even when looking at the least popular in the bunch, I see importance. Every character that joins the battle is important in their own way. And hey, overall, it's up to Sakurai and his team to decide who deserves to be in Smash. And that can be anyone. So next time, before we decide that a character doesn't deserve to be in Smash Brothers, maybe we should think about the fact that we've gotten plenty of characters that people thought of as jokes years ago. I'm looking at you, Piranha Plant. You guys really thought I made this video so I could talk about a deeply problemed community? No! I just wanted to vent about how I feel when people tell me Sans is just a meme. He's gonna get in, guys. I have